Baghi Babar, also known as Gardens of Babar, is a historic site in Chelstone, Kabul, Afghanistan. It is located in the Sher Darwaza hillside of District 5, southwest of Shahri Naw, or a short distance south of Kabul Zoo and north of Chihil Sutun. The Gardens of Babar has several terraced buildings, a small mosque, and plenty of walking space. Visited by up to 1 million locals and foreign tourists a year, it is also where the tomb of the first Mughal Emperor Babur is located. The park is thought to have been developed around 1504, when Babur gave orders for the construction of an avenue garden in Kabul, described in some detail in his memoirs, the Babur Nama. It has been redeveloped by various Afghan rulers since then. It was the tradition of Mughal princes to develop sites for recreation and pleasure during their lifetime and later choose one of these as their last resting place. The site continued to be of significance to Babur's successors. Jahangir made a pilgrimage to the site in 1607 when he ordered that all gardens in Kabul be surrounded by walls, that a prayer platform be laid in front of Babur's grave, and an inscribed headstone placed at its head. During the visit of the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan in 1638, a marble screen was erected around the tomb of Babur, and a mosque built on the terrace below. There are accounts from the time of the visit to the site of Shah Jahan in 1638 of a stone water channel that ran between an avenue of trees from the terrace below the mosque, with pools at certain intervals. The original construction year of Baghi Babar is unknown. Relics have recently been found at the site dating to the 3rd century BC. In the past, caravans came from different parts carrying trade loads, and they would exchange their trade loads here, according to Baghi Babar management. When Babur captured Kabul in 1504 from the Afghans, he redeveloped the site and used it as a guest house for special occasion, especially during the summer seasons. Since Babur had such a high rank, he would have been buried in a site that befitted him. The garden where it is believed Babur requested to be buried is known as Baghi Babar. Mughal rulers saw this site as significant and aided in the further development of the site and other tombs in Kabul. Baghi Babar has changed drastically from the Mughal impression of the space to the present. Throughout the years, outside influences have shaped the use of the site. For example, the Aga Khan Historic Cities program describes how by 1880, Amir Abdul Rahman Khan constructed a pavilion and a residence for his wife, Bibi Halima. In 1933, the space was converted into a public recreation space with pools and fountains becoming the central focal point. A modern greenhouse and swimming pool were added in the late 1970s. Although the enclosure of the Babur's tomb is no longer present, Baghi Babar remains a major historically important site in Kabul. The gardens were heavily damaged during the Afghan Civil War, 1992 to 1996. A detailed survey of the perimeter walls of the garden, parts of which are thought to date from the late 19th century, was undertaken. These are built of a mix of traditional hand-laid earth, paksa, and sun-dried bricks on stone foundations, technique still widely used in rural construction in Afghanistan. After careful documentation, damaged sections of the walls were repaired or rebuilt between 2002 and 2004, during which nearly 100,000 work days were generated for skilled and unskilled labor. As part of efforts to ensure an appropriate degree of accuracy in the conservation and rehabilitation works, a range of documentation was identified and reviewed. In addition to specific references to Baghi Babar itself, contemporary accounts of types of trees and arrangements for the distribution of water were reviewed, and advice was sought from those who have studied and undertaken rehabilitation work on other Mughal gardens in the region. Since 2003, the focus of conservation has been on the white marble mosque built by Aurangzeb in 1675 to mark his conquest of Balkh, restoration of the Babur's grave enclosure, repairs to the garden pavilion dating from the early 20th century, and reconstruction of Taj Beg Palace. In addition, a new caravanserai was built on the footprint of an earlier building at the base of the garden, where the base of a gateway built by Shah Jahan has been preserved, and a new swimming pool outside of the garden precinct. Significant investments have been made in the natural environment of the garden, taking into account the historic nature of the landscape and the needs of contemporary visitors. A system of partially piped irrigation was installed, and several thousand indigenous trees were planted, including planes, cypresses, hawthorn, wild cherry, alubalu, allegedly introduced by Babur from the north of Kabul, and other fruit and shade trees. Based on the results of archaeological excavations, the relationships between the 13 terraces and the network of paths and stairs have been re-established. Since 16th January 2008, the garden has been managed by the independent Baghi Babur Trust, with support from Kabul Municipality, the Afghan Ministry of Information and Culture, and the Aga Khan Trust for Culture.